Welcome Lund loyalists to John Lund Unleashed. Those watching on YouTube, on the John Lund Unleashed and Bay Area Sports Collective channels. Viewers on X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and Lundos listening to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. John Lund Unleashed, brought to you by Reapel Sports Medicine. Got pain? Check out our revolutionary stem cell treatments. And guys, if low T is bringing you down, Reapel Sports Medicine can put you back in the game. Now all juiced up and ready to go, here's Johnny.
Oh, yes, juiced up, ready to go, in a great mood. It is episode 192. We're at a Hump Day Wednesday edition of the program, and there you go, A-plus Major League Baseball All-Star Game. There's Kyle Schwarber on a knee to win it for the National League. Give me your thoughts. Chat room was wide open. Love to get your thoughts. I thought it was an A-plus. I think it's as good as an All-Star Game can get. You may disagree, and that's fine. I told you about the mindset you need to have going into an All-Star Game, and I think if you had the right one, you'd be like, all right, is it going to win an Oscar? No. Is it going to have the intensity of a Major League or of a World Series game? No. But as far as All-Star games go, if you have the right mindset, again, I used the comp yesterday, Happy Gilmore 2. If you think it's going to be an Oscar award winner, you're going to be disappointed. If you take a couple of gummies, have a beer, bag of chips, and expect a couple of laughs, then you're going to be satisfied. And that's kind of what the All-Star game was last night. Was it one of the greatest games I've ever seen? No. But for an All-Star game, A-plus. I think there's any question between the home run off at the end, no matter who was or wasn't there, the Hank Aaron tribute, the microphones, the uniforms, just everything in general. Randy Rodriguez versus Brent Rooker, if you want to localize it, those kind of things. Just a really cool game last night. And I thought it was one of the better All-Star games around. So we'll get into that conversation. The chalkboard, of course, if you're new around here, that's what we go by, the chalkboard. Episode 192, the home run off. Major League Baseball is going to do this in about 3 seconds. I guarantee it. Rooker versus Rodriguez, like I said, to localize this thing. Mike's Kershaw. You may hate Kershaw, but you can't hate when he was mic'd up yesterday. That was pretty good. Oh, I forgot the ABS on there, too. The ABS was awesome and just took seconds. I don't know why Major League Baseball doesn't do that. It's so stupid that they don't. Get the most basic things right in baseball, which is balls and strikes. Get balls and strikes right. How hard's that? Not really hard. And it just takes seconds, although they'll screw it up. It took a little bit longer last night than it normally takes. So I'm nervous about that. You know, if you watch the show or listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcasts on a regular basis, that I am very skeptical of the timing. It should be a lot faster for replay on everything. And last night, the ABS system, at least in the minor leagues, by the time the either pitcher or batter said, hey, let's review that, the ball from the catcher, the pitcher, the ball was back, and they had the call. It took about 17 seconds last night. That's too long. But anyway, we'll get into that conversation as well. On the Hank Aaron thing, it looks like there's going to be an All-Star game in San Francisco back here at Oracle Park. They're saying 2028. Are they going to do the same thing for Barry Bonds that they did for Hank Aaron? Baseball. This isn't the Giants. This is baseball, so probably not. I don't know why. Jennings rumors the best wide receivers. ESPN does their top 10 list. I don't know why they didn't wait on quarterbacks. It usually should be less, but wide receivers. And if I'm the 49ers, I'm showing Jawan Jennings this list when he asks for a lot of money. Random things happen throughout the show. Sweet, clean, family-friendly Caboose Pistol. We got a couple of them today for you for episode 192. Before I get out to the chat, which is on John Lund Unleashed on YouTube, please join the community and say good morning or hello. That would be outstanding if you would do that. We've got a lot of great people in the community. We have a lot of fun sitting in the chat room, hanging out and talking sports or whatever else pops up. So jump in there, but make sure you're subscribed to John Lund Unleashed. Hit me with a like before you get out of here today, because that helps the algorithm, helps the show grow. Thank you so much for that. Keep those alerts on, because we send out stuff throughout the day on John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. And, of course, you see that big B in the corner. That's the Bay Area Sports Collective. So that's my show, a bunch of ex-KNBRers. My show, Tom Tolbert, Polymax Particles. It's a Wednesday, so they'll be doing a night flight tonight. But Polymax Particles with Creative Tony, the former creative director at KNBR. Rod Brooks and Quality Hang. He does that one at night. And then also the great Amy G and Jeremy Affel, former Giants pitcher, all at the Bay Area Sports Collective. So if you would subscribe there, in addition to John Lund Unleashed on YouTube, that would be outstanding. All right, let's say good morning to everybody on this fine Wednesday. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, let me get to the top. Everybody's rolling today. Good morning to Joy and John Joseph. Good morning to Naomi. It is not a show without Naomi or Joy, because they just kind of keep us in line. Folsom Steve is here saying, good morning, everyone. The 1420 is here. Good morning. Good morning. Perry, good morning, my friend. It's nice to see you, or nice to see your chat. Jesus, good morning to you, my friend. Tommy Huxley, a time trade for Schwarber. Do you realize, I was thinking about this last night, Tommy, and everyone. The Cubs just decided, because remember, Schwarber is such a great story. He was a catcher, wasn't going to be a catcher, but it was a great hitter, 4th overall pick by the Cubs, and helps them win the World Series. Remember, like on a Tuesday, he's coming back from a ripped up knee, and he's in the Arizona Fall League, just screwing around to try to get his timing back. 2 days later, like on a Thursday, he goes to Cleveland. He's playing in the World Series, and he hits a home run. So of all those guys that were in that group, Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant and Javier Lopez and Addison Russell and all those guys that helped the Cubs end their drought 2016. At the end of that whole thing, they trade Bryant to Colorado. They trade Rizzo to the Yankees. Addison Russell flames out. Javier Baez goes to the Mets, which got him Pete Crow Armstrong, by the way. Schwarber, the Cubs just decided to release him. They didn't get anything for Kyle Schwarber. They didn't tender him a contract. Cubs just said, nah, we don't need that guy. My God, man. Are you serious? Like, nah, we're good. Like, nah, we're cool, man. Don't worry. We don't need that guy. Anyway, he helped them win it last night. That was really, really cool. Let's get it to Jake. Good morning to you, my friend. I don't know why I went on that tangent, but I was thinking about that last night. Like, the Cubs just said, nah, we're good. Like, we're good. Who's talking about taco meat? Why are we talking about taco meat this early in the morning? That doesn't. I'm the biggest fan of tacos. I could not eat a taco right now. Just not want to do it. The Nutter is here. Good morning to everybody in the chat room. Remember, this is all on John Lund Unleashed. So please, if you are in the chat room and you kind of just say good morning. They won't bite unless you want them to. But everybody's great, man. Dom, it's good morning. Good morning to you, Antonio. What's going on, man? You didn't like it, huh? You didn't like the All-Star game last night, huh? Oh, man, I liked it. I liked every bit of it. And, again, this was great about the community. You don't have to agree with me. I'm going to give you a case why I liked it so much. If you didn't, I totally get it. Everybody's on their couch watching the game. So NL jumps out to a 6-0 lead. NL hasn't won forever, so you're thinking, this is going to be over. All of a sudden, they come back. By the way, the first run of the night for the American League, Brent Rooker hits a bomb off Randy Rodriguez. Logan Webb has a clear night, so they good from that standpoint. Rooker was in the middle of everything, had a couple of home runs in the Derby and everything like that. So anyway, AL comes back, ties it at 6, which leads to the home run off. And yeah, give me your thoughts on the home run off. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. Is it, a purist, Bob Costas and his pink eye will probably come on and say, that's not baseball. That's not pure baseball. I get it, man. But we have crossed over in sports so much to the entertainment entity being the number one thing, and the business, which means the business side is the number one thing. We are much more on the business side, i.e. making the money and entertaining people than we've ever been before. And I mean that everything around the game. There's a reason why Screaming A and Pat McAfee and all these things, because they bring eyeballs, which brings revenue, which raises rates, all those kind of things. And when they find something, they just roll with it. And last night, I can guarantee you this. Well, you can't guarantee anything in life. As Kyle Shanahan said, we might not be alive on Sunday, but I'll tell you this, that baseball, when they saw that last night, the home run off, and whether you want to, it's not pure baseball, kind of like a shootout in hockey or anything. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's going to get people to watch. I've seen the numbers. The All-Star game was kind of, they take the 6-0 lead, kind of, and then home run off. So what is baseball going to do? They're going to implement it. I'm just telling you, you can be pissed off. I'm the messenger. Don't get pissed at me. I'm telling you right now. Everyone hates, I think, the ghost runner on second base. It was done during the pandemic to get people, let's get off the field. Let's go. We don't need to do this. Let's go. There should not be a ghost runner anymore in baseball. It's stupid. So what they need to do is, look, I paid the money. Let's see a real game at the end. But what's going to happen is, mark my words, I think this is what they're going to do. Nobody's told me anything, but it's just pure logic. It was magic last night. People liked it. The ratings spiked. People liked the home run derby. People like home runs. Now, they don't like the home run derby necessarily because it takes forever. It drags a little bit. But last night, when Schwarber hit 3 in a row for the National League to win that thing, people went crazy, ratings spiked. And the executives, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world, and they looked at each other and they went, winner, winner, money dinner. Like this ratings, revenue, sponsorships. You can see all of this happening. Specialty bats. Okay, it's time. Who are they going to pick? It's kind of like, again, it's like a shootout hockey. Which guys are they picking? Well, unfortunately, guys like Ohtani and Judge, they were in the air in an airplane, so they couldn't be picked. Which, is it too much? Again, I said this yesterday. We get one game a year in every sport. One game. And in football, we don't need it because it's a joke. But in baseball, basketball, we get one game. So everybody bitches and moans about who we pick as fans. Everyone bitches and moans, who didn't make it, who did all this kind of stuff. Just give us the one game. Give us the one game. Is it too much to ask Ohtani to not stay? That was the only thing I didn't like. And Judge, is it too much to ask for Judge not to stay? I got to go, man. I get it. There's a lot of games during the season. You get some days off. I totally get it. I do. But it would have been better. It was great. Don't get me wrong. And the Schwarber thing was cool. And Rooker was right in the middle of that whole thing. But Ohtani versus Judge, it's Ohtani versus Judge. That's the only thing they need to do. Just give me one guy from each team. Give me the star home run hitter from each team. And then all you got to do is give me those two guys. So last night it would have been Judge versus Ohtani. That's all I want to see. Schwarber's great. Rooker's great. All those guys, very cool. Ohtani versus Judge. That's all I wanted to see. So that was the only negative thing. But in the regular season, I'm telling you, it's going to screw up my swing. I'm going to get tired, blah, 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 blah. I'm just telling you, they're going to do away with the ghost runner. What they probably will do is they'll give you the 10th inning to try to score. If you don't, then it's a home run off by the 11th inning. And that's what they're going to do. And you don't need 3 from each side, just like you got last night. Just give me your best home run hitter on each side. That's it. Best home run hitter. Nobody will hit one out of Oracle. That's what will be funny is the Marine layer is going to come in. The Seagulls are going to be flying around. And it's like, can anyone hit it out of the park? So anyway, I thought it was cool. I liked it. And like I said, first thing that popped through my mind when everybody was buzzing and Schwarber goes to a knee. If you didn't see it last night, where's the Schwarber one? This is the last swing of the night to win it. Here's Schwarber.
The game, NL has rallied in the swing. With the hat trick. Look out, Chop House. National League takes the lead 4-3.
Here's the other thing, too. You rarely see, and this is why Major League Baseball is going to implement this, I'm telling you. You rarely see the players into it. So if you didn't like it, and again, everyone's opinion in here is valid in this room. It's a rare place where if you didn't like it, I get it. It's your opinion. It's like food, like whatever. Today's National Hot Dog Day. Maybe you like ketchup, maybe you like mustard. Hey, you do you. Whatever. You don't have to have loved this, but I'm telling you right there, did you see the energy in the place? Did you see the players coming out of the dugout? He hit 3 in a row. People went crazy. Fans were going crazy. Joe Davis is screaming and yelling. There's energy in the building. With a ghost runner on second, bunt him to third. Okay, that sucks. It's stupid. That's stupid. It's not baseball. Now, a home run derby, that's going to buzz people. I'm telling you, there's millions of sponsorship opportunities. There's all these different things. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Like, just telling you, if you don't like it, they're going to do it. That's the first thing went through my mind. Like when Schwarber hit that last home run, I went, this is coming. Like they're changing the rules. Maybe it'll be after the 9th inning, but I still feel like, again, like in hockey, you play a period, then you do a shootout. Like let it be baseball for a minute. Like at least give them the 10th inning. By the 11th inning, I think that's just what's going to happen is they'll give them the 10th inning, 11th inning, it's a home run off. Too much money to be made. So anyway, give me what you thought about that last night. I thought it was really cool. A lot of people were like, "Yeah." I liked it. I was waiting for this one. Joe Davis sucks. He's a Dodger. I get it. He was getting very chummy with Clayton Kershaw when they had the mic in with him. Hey, way to go, 22. That was a little much. But I can tell you from experience, I've had Joe Davis on numerous occasions. And he does a nice job with Fox Sports with the NFL. He does a nice job with national games. I get it if you don't like him because he's a Dodger, but everybody hated Joe Buck too. So I don't know how those guys can win, but yes, he's a Dodger. And you knew it when he was talking to Clayton Kershaw that he was a Dodger. So anyway, before I move on to other things about the All-Star game that I enjoyed, let me see here. This was a good point. Hold on a second. Ohtani Judge didn't want to be embarrassed by being eliminated. That whole shit's got to go away. Player X doesn't want to be in the dunk contest because he might lose. Ohtani and Judge might be, and then it'll screw up my swing and I might lose. Like that's competition. How'd you get where you are? You got to compete every single day in life, and you're the best of the best, and that's who people want to see. I'm telling you, These sports have got to be tougher on these guys. We're paying the X amount of dollars, not so you can leave the All-Star game early. Like, it was cool that Kyle Schwarber did that, but if it's Ohtani, it's a whole nother level. If it's Judge versus Ohtani, my God, the internet might have blown up. Like, that's what they're trying to create. And I'm telling you, the reason why baseball is going to do this, what does baseball like to create? What does sports like to create? Sudden death. Sudden death. Sunday, it's sudden death. That's what they do. They do sudden death. So what is baseball? What is home run derby? Sudden death. He's either going to hit this out or they're going to lose. That's what they're trying to create. And the fact that those guys were like pouring out of the dugout, jumping up and down, they gave a shit who won that game. And baseball right away, execs were like on the phone. Even dumbass Rob Manfred couldn't not see that. Rob Manfred had to be on the phone going, hey, man, I think we got to do this. Maybe he didn't. He was probably too dumb. But there's somebody that's got a half a brain in that place that was thinking just like I was sitting on my couch going, they're doing this. What else do we have on that? We had a ton of baseball stuff, or a ton of all-star stuff. Let's see. The tribute, we'll get into that. We'll get into the tribute for sure. All right. So home run off, give me your thoughts on that. Remember, by the way, I haven't mentioned this. If you want to get your stuff on the screen, 100%. Questions, comments, thoughts. Like our good friend Tommy Huxley here. Randy got rock puke. It's annoying. I thought, I got to be honest, I know you guys are going to be mad at me on this one. Of all the people that were mic'd up last night, Pete Alonso was Pete Crow Armstrong, Kershaw, Jack Wilson was really cool. And I've told you the Jack Wilson story. Jack Wilson, of course, played for the Pirates, was a one-time All-Star in 2004 when I happened to be in Pittsburgh. His son, Jacob, obviously the A's shortstop who swings at anything. He's a great hitter, but man, when he learns some patience, he's going to be ridiculous. But they had him and his dad on at the same time. I mean, they just nailed everything. Kershaw was pretty good. You got to be honest. He was very casual. He's like, what should I do here? And then dumbass John Smoltz. Am I the only one on Smoltz? Hey, what did he say? Hey, Kershaw, throw a splitter. And he goes, Smoltzy, I don't have a splitter. Like, are you new here? My name's Clayton Kershaw. I don't know if we've met. I've been in the league like 16 years. I'm a Hall of Famer. You're supposed to be an expert on pitching. You just told me to throw a pitch I don't have. For the love of God, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, was I the only one who was like, John Smoltz sucks? I'm sorry, man. That's the best baseball can give us. John Smoltz year after year after year after year after year. There's no one else? Really? Anyway, whatever. Other than that, I thought it was really good. Yeah. At least it doesn't count. Like, and plus when Rooker Smoltz, when Rooker hit that home run off of Randy Rodriguez, my son texted me, he's an A's fan. And he's like, look at that. And I was like, it's 6-1, whatever. And then they start coming back on that whole thing. So, Webb did throw a good inning, but the problem with Webb too was they had Pete Crow Armstrong mic'd up. So you got no Webb. Like I would have liked to have had Webb mic'd up, but they had Pete Crow Armstrong mic'd up. And so they didn't talk anything about Logan Webb. And the thing was, and this is another missed opportunity. So Javier Baez is in the box while they're talking to Pete Crow Armstrong. Pete Crow Armstrong was on the Mets. Baez was on the Cubs. Baez was traded for Pete Crow Armstrong. You got those two guys on the screen at the same time, and they didn't ask Pete Crow Armstrong anything about that trade. Like, dude, what are you doing? Anyway, it sounds like I'm nitpicking, and I kind of am, but I loved the game. I thought it was an A+, even with that stuff. So home run off. Major League Baseball is going to do this, whether you like it or not. I like the microphones, and they had Big Dumper, too, in the first inning. Cal Raleigh's trying to catch and talk to those guys. That couldn't have been easy. I thought Kershaw was the best. I got to be honest. I know you're going to get mad at me on that, but Kershaw was just kind of casual, like, what should I throw here? And he's, threw a couple of curveballs that were short and all that kind of stuff. And then Kyle Tucker made that catch in the left field corner, and he was just having fun with it because he realized, like, this is it for me, man. I'm done. And my viewpoint always on Kershaw has been, and whether you agree with this or not, you probably don't. He was Dodger blue, so I totally understand that. But, Madison Bumgarner liked him. Remember, they were in the outfield together talking. It was, you got to hate Kershaw. At some point, what happens, at least with me, is that I get it. He's a rival. You hate him, all those kind of things. But at some point, it crosses over to respect. Like, he's so good that you got to respect him, right? I mean, look, I don't like the antics. I've said this a million times of LeBron James off the court, but I respect what he's done on the court. Same thing with Kershaw. Like, he doesn't have antics off the field. But, Kershaw's been mic'd up enough times. Sunday Night Baseball last night. Seems like a good dude. I want him to retire. Brandon Belt never wants to see him again. Probably still has nightmares about him, but seems like a good dude. And as far as the Dodgers go, yeah, it sucks that he plays for the Dodgers, but at some point it crosses over and you go, that guy's really, really good. And I watched him play. I mean, as far as generational, better curveball in our generation of pitching, anyone? I mean, that thing's silly. I mean, it's seriously, it looks like Bugs Bunny. Now on first base, Bugs Bunny. Now on second base, Bugs Bunny. It was like, Jesus. I mean, when he threw that, it's like, is that ever going to get to the plate? Just ridiculous. Anyway, enough on that guy. As we go down the line here, Major League Baseball is going to do the home run off. Rooker versus Rodriguez. The mics we just got done talking about. Give me your thoughts on that. They're not going to do more of that. You could do it like where Pete Carr Armstrong was in the outfield. They do that on Sunday Night Baseball. They do it at shortstop sometimes. Willie Adames has had it. There's a number of different guys. I think it was last Sunday win of the Cardinals at shortstop. Like, they can do it at certain positions. All-time first base, Mike, look up Anthony Rizzo. And I think it was like an opening day game, and he's talking to guys on first base. I was like, I'm mic'd up. But, I mean, that stuff's cool. You can't really do pitcher-catcher during the season. Like, I know they did it last night. But how annoying must that be? Like, there's Joe Davis in New York. Hey, 22. You're like, God, can I just pitch? Can I just get away from the media for 3 seconds? But it was cool for us. And a lot of times mics don't work. Like, when they go into the huddles, it's like it's the most generic stuff ever. Like, maybe there'll be a rogue producer one of these days who has all that footage of actually what coaches said in a huddle, and they're going to release it someday. That's why the coaches never say anything, because they're like, look, I'm mic'd up right now, and they say they won't ever run this stuff, but we're going to get a rogue producer one of these days who just collected all of this stuff. That's like when I was on the radio, they have tapes of us during the breaks too. So I would either not say anything or I'd just walk out of the studio, because I'll say something stupid and then some producer's going to hate me someday, and then he's going to, all that stuff's going to come out. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I got to stay away from that stuff. Anyway, so Mike's, Kershaw, the uniforms. I mean, for something so small, I don't know why it took them so long. 2019 was the last time they all had uniforms. How cool was that? Like, on the introductions, like I think it went Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Randy Rodriguez when they had the Giants guys. They had just clean looking whites. They had the stars on the hats. It was just like, man, it just took me back to my childhood, which of course wasn't that long ago. But it takes you back to your childhood because you were looking for your guy, right? You like your guy that was in the All-Star game. Maybe your team sucked, but you always had like one or two guys, and there's my guy. And you'd watch him, and he'd pinch hit late in the game or whatever the case may be, or maybe he didn't get in. And you're like, damn it. But it was like your guy, your guy that was in his uniform. And the last number of years, and you're not selling those things, like these stupid looking uniforms that they had on. And it's like, they're always marketing. Got to sell those things, and got to do it. Got to sell those things. It was like, nobody's buying them, man. Nobody's buying we're buying the jersey. We're not buying the All-Star jersey. We're not doing that. You can have that on Saturday and have whatever they had there on, their home run derby or whatever. But it was cool. They do the picture and it's all the different stuff. That was cool, man. So to me, that's why I'm saying this was an A+, like Mike's, Kershaw, uniforms, all those kind of things. I just thought it was really, really cool. So let's get into something that's really, really interesting to me. Look at that. That's our good friend Dan Ogden, by the way, everybody. He produces Tolbert's show, and he's just an all-time great guy. Bay Area Sports Collective, please make sure that you are subscribed to the Tom Tolbert Show. Please. The great Dan Ogden, everybody. Let's get into this Hank Aaron thing last night. So, again, I watched this stuff maybe a little bit differently. So this was really cool. And I'm only going to play a snippet of it. It was much longer than this. But they did an amazing job. This is what I mean. From A to Z, I thought they did an amazing job. Can we nitpick at some of the stuff? Sure. Do you not like Joe Davis because he's a Dodgers broadcaster? Sure. Should Ohtani and Judge have stayed to the end for the home run derby? Yes. But I'm nitpicking on those things. By and large, for an all-star game, again, let's compare apples to apples. For an all-star game, this was about as good as it gets. All right. So this to me was incredible. But earlier in the day, there was an announcement, nothing official, but it looks like we're going to get the All-Star game here in the Bay Area in 2028. So they do this tribute to 715 for Hank Aaron last night in Atlanta, and it was awesome.
Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron. The fireworks are going. Henry Aaron is coming around third. His teammates are at home plate, and listen to this crowd.
All right, so you get the idea. It was much longer than that. I just wanted to play a snippet of it. Really cool. Like I said, all the different things that they did, I thought all night long for the most part, and for an all-star game, comparing apples to apples, they nailed it. They nailed it. That was really cool. As I'm watching this, though, I'm thinking to myself, because earlier in the day it was fresh in my mind that the Bay Area looks like they're going to get the all-star game in 2028. Exactly what Dom just said there. Does Major League Baseball create a similar tribute for Barry Bonds? That's what Dom just put on the screen. That's exactly what I was thinking as I'm watching that. So they did it for Hank Aaron, and he's not even the home run champ anymore. That was 7:15. And there's a sense of, and again, I'm not diminishing this whatsoever, but there's a sense of that's the real home run champ, right? Not here, not in the Bay Area, but nationally, like that's really the guy. So let's pay tribute to the home run king. Well, the home run king is Barry Bonds. Whether you like it or not, the official home run king is Barry Bonds. There is no asterisk. There is no but or if. There is no, in the record books, no marks. He is ahead of Hank Aaron. A few things here. The Giants have embraced him, and this is his safe zone, but get the damn statue up. I mean, let's go. He is the guy. He is number one. Like, there's this weirdness around it. But the thing is this isn't like Pete Rose. Baseball has not banned Barry Bonds. It's this whole unwritten thing. So you know what they really should do in 2028? He is the home run king. There's nothing around it. There's no buts or ifs or anything like that. Baseball hasn't said, by the way, he's not the home run champ. I mean, there's whispers behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. But remember, here's another thing. The Giants don't do this. That was done by Major League Baseball. That tribute to Hank Aaron was done by Major League Baseball. It's not the Braves coming up with this idea saying, hey, you know what? All-star games, when they get deep in the playoffs in the NBA and Major League Baseball, when they get to the World Series, all that stuff is controlled by the entity, by baseball, by the NFL, by the NBA. Like all the Super Bowls I've been to, that's not the home team 2 years ago. That wasn't the Raiders doing those tickets. That's all the NFL. So last night was Major League Baseball paying tribute to Hank Aaron, and they should have. But they kind of made it seem like, even though I loved every second of it, but it was like, that's the real home run king. That's kind of the sense I get. Well, wait a minute. In 3 years, there's going to be an all-star game, and it's going to be in San Francisco. And there's nothing that says that Barry Bonds shouldn't be honored like that. There's nothing that says he's not the home run champ. Yeah, there's whispers. They didn't put him in the Hall of Fame, all those kind of things. But in 2028, you know what they should do? And I don't know that they can, but hell, they can do whatever they want. They should put him in the Hall of Fame. There should be a damn statue unveiled that weekend in San Francisco. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, Giants. That's the perfect time to do it. Get the damn statue up. Acknowledge him. First of all, there's a few different levels here. Number one, the Giants need to get that thing. It's way overdue. Way overdue. And I know what the Giants do, and they're really brilliant in their marketing. Say what you want about the Giants. They're brilliant when it comes to marketing and capitalizing on those kind of things. So they're probably waiting until that 2028 All-Star game, which is far too overdue, but okay. They unveil the statue, and then they have a tribute to him. Baseball does. But baseball has to acknowledge this. Look, man, you made a mistake. Get these guys into the Hall of Fame. It should happen by 2028. Hell, they should have it right there. That's when they should unveil it. The statue, he's a Hall of Famer, and give him. He's the all-time home run king. It's in the record books. Your record books, Major League Baseball. Hank Aaron's not the all-time home run king. It seemed like it last night, but he's not. So all this has got to go away. You know, there are guys in the Hall of Fame that have used. There's no question about it. Mike Piazza, David Ortiz. There are racists, Ty Cobb. There's all sorts of people like that in there. And Barry Bonds isn't the worst of the bunch. So he should be in the Hall of Fame. They should have a tribute like that in 2028 to Barry Bonds. And the Giants need to lead the charge on this, and they have 3 years to do it. But don't sit on your hands here. Let's go. Fully embrace him. Which means, I mean, if there was nothing surrounding Barry Bonds, they'd had a statue up yesterday. They would have had a statue up the day he stopped playing. Like, let's stop. If you're the Giants, look, this is supposed to be his safe zone. If you don't treat him like that, then how is Major League Baseball going to treat him at the top of the top, which he has earned because nobody has taken that record away and no one's going to. So just a thought. This is going to happen in 3 years, and they got to do something about it. Because if you acknowledge Hank Aaron to that level, and he's number 2, then Barry Bonds should be acknowledged to that level as well. And they need to cut the shit in terms of not having him in the Hall of Fame, not having a statue up. Like, let's go. Have all of it. And by 2028, that's what it should be. 2028 is a perfect time to unveil it all. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He should have a statue. You should have a tribute. That's the way it goes. All that other stuff, look, it happened. We don't need to go back down that road. It's a million times that we've talked about Barry Bonds, but he's the all-time home run king. It's in your record books. It's one of the strangest things in sports that he is there. You have acknowledged he's there. You've put it in black and white, and yet there's this, but Hank Aaron. So anyway, I'm not ripping on the tribute last night. It was very cool. Atlanta did, and Major League Baseball did just about everything right that you can do in an all-star game. Everything. The home run off was cool. The mics were cool. The uniforms were cool. The Hank Aaron thing was cool. Like, all of it. As good as you can do. As good as you can do for an all-star game. But in 3 years, that was what was going through my head is they've got to do this for Barry Lamar Bonds, man. They have to. Or kick him out of the record books and just acknowledge that, you know what, it was all steroid driven. But then you open up Pandora's box where it's like, what about this guy? What about this guy? What about that record? What about this? What about that? You've put him in the record books. Quit acting like he's some kind of pariah. I mean, it's time. And the fact that it's 2028 and it's the All-Star game and it's on the horizon, it's the perfect time to get the ball rolling and get going on this stuff. Absolutely. Major League Baseball's got to get in the hall in that time. The Giants got to get a statue up in that time. They've got to fully acknowledge it. This is the home run king. They just did it for the guy who's number 2, and all sorts of respect for Hank Aaron and what they did last night. That was cool. That was really, really cool as part of a really nice job by Major League Baseball for a very good all-star game. But in 2028, unless you want this whole thing hanging over their head, because then that's what a lot of people are going to be talking about. I mean, here we go. All right. That's my thought on that. Give me your thoughts. Let's see. Who else do we have in the room today? All right. I just want to get your thoughts. Yes, Ty Cobb. It's like, okay. Yeah, look, I'm not saying Hank Aaron was using anything, but I don't know what he wasn't using. You know, that's the whole thing is, look, they're always trying. And the one thing about today's athletes there's so much money on the line. There's so much money on the line. I always think it's the funniest thing ever. Well, I wouldn't have. I would have never done that. Oh, yeah? Hey, you hit X amount of home runs this year, you're going to get a contract worth, I don't know, 60, 80, 100, $200 million. Sorry. But they're not, but you're going to be, they're going to look at you a certain way. Okay, well, whatever. I think Alex Rodriguez is okay. Wasn't he just part of a group that bought the Minnesota Timberwolves? I think it's probably worth it for him. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Whatever. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, like I said, it's the next 3 years. So they got to, at some point, they're just going to have to say, look, man, like, we've got to embrace this guy. We put him in the record books. That's it, man. There's no like, by the way, none of that kind of stuff. If you want to put that in his plaque in the Hall of Fame, did this, by the way, suspected of, whatever. It's a museum. We don't need to go down that road. I'm just saying, hey, Giants, you're on the clock. You got 3 years. Hey, Major League Baseball, you're on the clock. You got 3 years. Awesome tribute last night. Well done with the whole All-Star game, but you got to do that for Barry Bonds. All right, Bonds in 28. So that is it on baseball. So like I said, I really enjoyed it. You don't have to have enjoyed it. I totally get it. I really enjoyed it from my couch. Give me your thoughts. I thought everything was very well done. I'm going to get into the NFL in a second, but give me your thoughts. Do I have anything else on baseball? I played you Schwarber. Oh, let me do this. One thing I didn't do. They did this a few times. Are you for ABS, the balls and strike system, or not? This is the precursor to robo-umps. I thought they could have done it a little bit faster. This is, what is this? Diaz and Rosarena last night. Tarek Skubal did one early in the game, but this is the one I just happened to grab. Do you like this or not, the balls and strike ABS system?
Ball out.
Takes just outside, and a challenge coming here. They're getting used to this.
This is a pitcher challenge.
It was a warning that I gave to a lot of pitchers. Be careful if you're the pitcher challenging a ball.
Hey,
But he may have gotten it.
And that will end the inning. Everybody with a smile.
I mean, that took about 17 seconds is what it took, and I think it's too long. In minor league baseball, when they did this, if you haven't seen the system, the hitter would tap his head. By the time the ball was returned from the catcher to the pitcher, they already had it. You know, the fact that Diaz had to walk around the plate for a minute, and I know 17 seconds doesn't sound like a long time, but it should be done in about 7. The only issue I ever have with replay is originally it wasn't built to be like this intricacy, like this. Did he touch it? Let's see. Let's slow it down. Let's get the super close. Just the egregious error. Just give me the egregious error. And you don't need to do this on every pitch, and there's X amount that you can do. But, you know, if it's a really important pitch, yeah, I think they should have it in there. I'm for it. It's just got to be fast. It's just got to be almost instantaneous. And last night it wasn't. So that if I had one complaint about it, I've seen it be faster. And it wasn't faster last night. And then what the fuck is John Smoltz talking about? My God. I'm sorry, man. And I don't mean to make it about John Smoltz Day. You have got to be careful if you're challenging those. What are you going to do? Piss off the hitter? It's the game, man. They have every right once they institute this, probably next year, to challenge balls and strikes. Like, what do you mean? Oh, they got to be careful with a hitter. What's he going to do? Get pissed off and try to hit a home run? That's already what he's trying to do. Like, I don't understand what John Smoltz is talking about here. Listen, let me do this one more time.
American League 6.
Listen to him.
2.
Ball out.
Takes just outside.
Okay, so 1,
and a challenge
2,
coming here.
3.
We're getting used to this.
This is a pitcher challenge.
It was a warning that I gave to a lot of pitchers. Be careful if you're the pitcher challenging a ball.
What is he talking about? What do you mean, be careful if you're a pitcher challenging a ball? Why? Piss off the umpire? Dude, I thought it was a strike. Like, it's part of the game. And this is the other part that the ego of the umpire, the ego of the official, the NBA official, the NFL official, their ego. You're challenging me? Shut up. You're an insurance salesman, man. You're lucky to be on the field with me. But be careful. You're going to piss that umpire off. Shut up. God, shut up, Smoltz. I'm challenging a pitch I thought was a strike. It's well within the rules of the game. What am I going to do? The ump show? I'm going to piss off the ump, and then he's not going to give me like 3 in a row? They've got to be used to it by now. It's part of the job. We're going to challenge your calls. Hey, you do a nice job. You get 95% right. But on that particular one, sorry, I think it hit the zone. I can do that. They're not showing you up, and shut up if they are showing you up. It's not about you, man. He's showing me up. God, get out of here. I mean, I'm amazed. Sorry to go on this rant. I'm amazed at the leagues that allow the officials to have this kind of power. You can't challenge them. You can't talk to them after a game. Hey, we think you blew that call. What did you see there? Sorry, you can't talk to me. I got a halo around me. I'm the boy in the bubble. Like, you can't talk to me. Sorry, you can't challenge my calls. So everybody else has to be culpable for their actions in this world except for officials. You made a bad call. Let's talk about it. Like, you post-game press conference. What did you say here? What did you see here? What did you see here? Like, they're not responsible for their actions. Like, they're the only people on earth who are not responsible for their actions. It's unbelievable. And then now they have an ego. John Smoltz is sitting there going, you better not challenge that umpire. Shut up, man. You haven't played for years. It's different. It's different now. It's part of the system. If a guy missed a call at first base, they're going to challenge it. That guy shouldn't be pissed off. Boy, next time I see that guy, he challenged my call. My God. What kind of dumb comment is that? God. I mean, seriously. John Smoltz, man. There's no one better. There's no one better. Of everybody who is just retired or played or anything like that, like, there's no one better than that guy. Yeesh. I mean, I get it. You know, like Joe Davis, he's a Dodger. But my God, John Smoltz, better be careful. Very careful challenging that umpire. Shut up. God. Anyway, whatever. So let me know. Look, I'm for it. I want to make sure I counted that out before the show. That was about 17 seconds. That's too long. That's too long. It needs to be challenge. Catcher catches it, challenge. By the time it gets thrown back to the pitcher, in about 5 seconds, there's no doubt. ABS, That's what it does in the minor leagues. That was 17 seconds last night, which doesn't sound like a lot. But remember, they're trying to shorten the game up. Oh, my God, it's 17 extra seconds. Anyway, I liked it. I like it. Smoltz is a bum. Thank you, Scott. I like when someone backs me up. If you have robo-umps, well, you know who's not liking this at all is Patrick Bailey. If they have robo-umps and you can't steal strikes, man, Patrick Bailey had a nice 3-year career. I mean, that's what he does. He's a really good defender. Don't get me wrong, but the number one thing he does is frame pitches and steal strikes. If they don't have that, good night, everybody. I mean, that's how it's going to go. He's going to be really bad. Hi, Jen. Absolutely, ABS. Tired of bad calls. Look, they're not going to do it on every. She's right. They're not going to do it on every single pitch. There's a certain amount. Isn't there like 2 or 3 a game that you can do? Really, I think there should be like 1. And you just hold it and hold it and hold it. And then it's like, it's the 9th inning or something. That's what I would want. Or make it 1. And if you get it right, you get another one. So maybe there's 2. So I don't want it to constantly be happening and breaking up the rhythm of the game. And, you might see a team do it late in the game just to break a rhythm of a pitcher who's just crushing it, right? It's just like boom, boom, boom. And he's in a rhythm. Let's stop it for 5 seconds. And let's see. And maybe it'll piss off the pitcher or whatever the case may be. But to have John Smoltz come out and say, boy, you watch it, man. You're challenging an umpire. I don't know about you, John. This has been happening in baseball for years. It's been happening in sports for years. I don't know if you just woke up. They challenge umpires all the time. Just letting you know. This isn't new. ABS might be new, but, challenges to umpires, to officials. It's, hi, there's technology. Nice to meet you. All right, that's baseball for today. Like I said, love the All-Star game. Let's get to the NFL. So here's the latest. I don't think I have any fancy schmancy kind of stuff on Jauan Jennings, but this is what I'm hearing on Jauan Jennings. And my God, first of all, I said this a little bit yesterday. I'm sorry I'm rubbing my face because I didn't think we would have to discuss these things, and we're less than a week away from camp. And we will have all sorts of great camp stuff for you. I'll be going down to camp, so it's going to be a good time had by all. But as far as Jauan Jennings is concerned, I'm hearing a couple of different things. Number one, he's not going to hold out. He may hold in. We saw how hold-ins did last year. If I'm the 49ers, what I would say to him is, look, we'd love to have you in these meetings. The offense isn't going to be exactly the same as what last year. We'll probably change some terminology, those kind of things. It's not going to be a radical change. So, yeah, we would love you in the meetings. But not at the cost of a distraction like last year, Brandon Ayuk. Life is not making mistakes. We all make mistakes. I make 1,000 a day. I make 100 on this show in an hour and a half. But it's about when you have kids, you say, look, I make 1,000,000 mistakes. I don't really care. Just don't make the same ones over and over and over and over and over. That's when you start getting pissed as a parent. Like, didn't we just talk about this? Didn't you just do this? Didn't we just learn this lesson? Like, that's where you get frustrated as a parent, right? When they make the same ones over and over and over and over. So the 49ers just a year ago said, it's okay for Brandon Ayuk to hold in. That's fine. He was a massive distraction. He's out on the field. The media sees him. He's bumping knuckles. He's doing this. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. Now he wants to go to Washington. Now he's doing a podcast. Like, that was a major distraction last year. So, look, 49ers, you thought would be nice to have them around in meetings and everything else. But given that the way that media is nowadays, and we're hunting for everything, and we're videoing everything, and we're sending it out, and it's Twitter, and it was a massive distraction. Everybody said it was. Coaches did, players did. It was a massive distraction. And Brandon Ayuk still is to this day. Just, I don't know, the weird stuff that he does on social media. So it's just kind of launched into this weird thing, and it still really hasn't gone away. And it helped ruin last year's season. So then the 49ers think to themselves, yeah, come on down. Let's do that again. No. Jauan Jennings, if you're not going to participate in camp, then stay away. Last year, Trent Williams wanted a new deal. Stayed away. Wasn't really a distraction. Came in, had a lot of injuries, everything. I don't know is that age? Is that not being at camp? Whatever. But I'd rather have a guy stay away. Like, I don't want you in the meeting rooms. I don't want, no, I don't want you around. Because it's a distraction to me and the guys who are actually working out. Then, okay, Jauan Jennings, if you don't want to be here and we're not sure we're going to have you, then I want to see what Jordan Watkins can do and Cowing can do and Kershaw can do. And those guys are getting the reps because, you know what? They're here. They're participating. So I don't want that. I don't want Jauan Jennings sitting around. I don't want Jauan Jennings moping around. I don't want Jauan Jennings sitting in meetings going, yeah, I need to get my deal done and talking to stuff about his deal. I don't want that. I don't want any of that permeating through my locker room. I'm not going to do it. So, look, you want to sign, you want to participate or whatever, or you don't want to be signed and you think we can work through some things, but you're going to be in camp, that's one thing. But to think that you're going to just do a hold-in like Brandon Ayuk did last year, learn your lesson. No. I'm the 49ers. I'm Kyle Shanahan. I'm John Lynch. Hell, if I'm Jed York, I don't put my foot down often, but you know what? We have a philosophy now with the 49ers boys. No hold-ins. We're not doing hold-ins. Because hold-ins also means, oh, well, he's around. He's not getting fined. You know what I want to do from a leverage standpoint if I'm the 49ers? I want to take your money. Because every minute you miss, every day you miss, it hurts you. When you get a hold-in, there's no fines. There's no nothing. He's under contract. That's another different thing about it, too, is he's under contract. So if you're not here, I don't want you to get a freebie out of this. You're a hold-in and you're technically here, so we can't fine you. No way. You're gone. You're not here. We're fining you. So that $7.5 million that you're supposed to make every single day, drip, 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 it's going away. That's what I want. Because then I'm at least I'm getting some leverage on top of you. And if we sign you to a new deal, okay. But I told you this yesterday. You want to get pushed around, or you have to get pushed around by Brock Purdy, by Nick Bosa, by Christian McCaffrey, by George Kittle, by Trent Williams. Those guys are superstars. I'm not getting pushed around by my third wide receiver. I can't set that precedence, because then what happens next year? And especially because he signed a deal just last year. I didn't like his deal. Like, I'm Patrick Surtain of the Broncos. I just won the defensive player of the year. Last year, a year ago, Patrick Surtain signed a contract in which he was the highest paid corner in the league. Sauce Gardner just signed a new one. You know where Patrick Surtain is now in the pecking order as far as corners? 5th. Is he going to starve? No. But if you go by what Jauan Jennings is doing, Patrick Surtain's like, hey, man, I'm the best corner in the league. I'm a defensive player of the year type of guy. I'm the 5th highest paid corner? Nah, renegotiate. Like, you can't do that, even with players of his caliber. So, Jauan Jennings, you just signed a new deal. Sorry, dude. And you came in late and you're trying to press us up against the wall, and you know what we have at wide receiver and the injuries and all those kind of things. I understand the leverage ploy, but I'm going to make you hold out. I'm going to take money from you. This is going to hurt you. $7.5 million. You've got, you got taxes in California. You got an agent. You got all these different things. So at the end of the day, not to say that $4 or $5 million that he might pocket isn't good money. It is, but I'm going to take it away. I can take it away at about $50,000 a day. It's not going to go very far. He's going to come into camp. It's time to play hardball. I'm not doing this with a player who's my third string wide receiver, and or third wide receiver. Now you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, without Ayuk, without KERSHAW, he might be number one. I get it. He might be number one due to circumstances. He's not a number one wide receiver in this league. How do I know? Let's play this game. So let's move on the chalkboard to best wide receivers. So ESPN, and we've talked about this a million times, there's only a couple of weeks during a season in which the NFL is not front and center. And so ESPN does these lists. We've done the quarterbacks and the D linemen and the linebackers and all these different things. And now we're to the wide receivers. So stop me when you see Jauan Jennings' name. Jamar Chase, can't argue that. Justin Jefferson, those two are in a category in and of themselves. So Chase and Jefferson, to me, those are the top two in some order. I wouldn't have put Tyreek Hill third. I get it. CeeDee Lamb fourth, A.J. Brown fifth, Amon-Ra sixth, Malik Neighbors seventh. Probably a little high for me going into his second year, but he's solid. Nico Collins, very underrated. Mike Evans, great. Garrett Wilson just got a big contract. Honorable mention. Well, he's got to be in this, right? He wants a lot of money. Terry McLaurin, he's not better than him. He's not better than Puka Nacua. He's not better than Brian Thomas Jr., who just had an amazing rookie season. You may not like DK, but I'd take DK over Jennings. T. Higgins, Devontae's getting a little bit older, but he's still solid. Oh, he's got to be in also receiving votes, right? I mean, he's got to be there. Devontae Smith, Lad McConkey, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, George Pickens, when he wants to show up, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton. Where is he? I mean, that's like 25 wide receivers right there. Where is he? I don't see him. Well, the reason why you don't see him is because while he might be the number one wide receiver for the 49ers right now due to circumstances, He's not a number one wide receiver. He's not. And if Ricky Pearsall lives up to what Ricky Pearsall is supposed to be, a first-round pick. So if all things are healthy, right? Brandon Ayuk's their number one wide receiver. Jennings is better than Ricky Pearsall, there's no doubt. Pearsall will probably play in the slot this year, and then Jennings will be the third receiver. So if all things are equal and you got three receivers right there, they're three really good wide receivers. Three really good wide receivers. And by the way, everyone's like, oh, if this happens, he's a 1,000-yard wide receiver. There's 17 games. There's 17 games. All right? 1,000 yards isn't shit. So I don't, whatever. He's solid. I'm not trying to say he's not. He's really solid. But he's much more valuable to the 49ers than he is any other team. He's a culture fit. He's a great body. He's all those different things. I've already said that. I like Juwan Jennings. This isn't a Juwan Jennings rip session, but I'm not. But there's a huge difference between giving money to Brock Purdy because there's not very many quarterbacks around, or Christian McCaffrey, who's probably the second best, third best running back in the league, and Kittle, who is the best tight end. Don't give me Brock Bowers. He can't block like Kittle. Or Trent Williams, or Fred Warner, who's the best off-the-ball linebacker in the league. All those guys are building block pieces of your organization. And they've proven it time and time and time again. Juwan Jennings last year had a really nice year because they had injuries, and he's a really nice player. But in a good wide receiver room, a really good wide receiver room, a top wide receiver room, Cincinnati. He's behind Chase. He's behind Higgins. He's a third wide receiver. For a lot of teams, he's a really good third wide receiver. That's what he is. He's nice. But I can't get pushed around by that kind of a player. So to me, it's pretty obvious what I would do. There's a few different things. A, you're not holding in. Okay, if we can't come to some sort of an agreement, you're not holding in. You're under contract. But I throw you a few more bucks, 7.5, maybe up 10. I probably could do something like that. But I cannot give you a full-blown 3 or 4 year deal at $20 million. Like, I'm not giving Juwan Jennings $80 million. That's dumb. Because what you do is, first of all, there's a reason why the Deebo Samuel's on Washington right now. They felt he was overpaid. They felt he was injury prone. And the biggest thing is they decided, what are we doing putting all these resources, all this money at the wide receiver position? That's not what we do. We beat people up in the trenches, defensive line, offensive line. We paid our quarterback. We paid our tight end. We paid our running back. We paid our linebacker. We want to get a really good defense going. Like, they realize that the wide receiver position and the way that it's been treated over the last couple of years, that's not the way to win Super Bowls. That's not the way. We've got to find the way. We got to get back to what we are, smash mouth football. And it's nice. Brandon Ayuk's really nice. And we got to have a good wide receiver room. We don't have to have the top wide receiver room in the league. They know that. And they come in every single year. So Juwan Jennings, you're not pushing me around. You're my third wide receiver. You're maybe the 25th best wide receiver in the league. We really like you, but we can't set this precedence because then every single guy is going to want more. I just had a really good season. You got to pay me more. I just paid you last offseason. You can't do that. So the way to go here is, A, if you think you're going to hold in, you're not. You're going to get fined, and we're going to hold out, and we're going to play hardball with you. 1. All right, what that does is send a message to those guys thinking in the back of their mind, yeah, I'm going to hold out too, and I'm going to get that money. Or I'm going to hold in too. I'm not going to get fined, and I'm going to get money. No. Set that precedence as no. I'm going to get pushed around by players who are superstars but not second or third wide receivers. And then the third thing is, I'm going to put the onus on the agent. Because everybody's got this inflated view of themselves. Everybody. This just isn't sports. They can't live without me. Well, yeah, they can. Life will go on. So I tell Juwan Jennings' agent, go find the deal. And what this does is it hits them in the face with reality because they think it's so easy. The agent's like, oh, just give him the money. Nah, I don't want to give him the money. All right, then trade him. You trade him. You're the agent. You're the one causing the pain in the ass. I'm getting ready for training camp. I got a bunch of other players on this roster. You go get him traded. You think it's easy? You think that people are knocking down our door for Juwan Jennings? Then go ahead. Go ahead and trade. Go find the team that is going to give a satisfactory return on this player. And, oh, by the way, pay him a bunch of money. Because Juwan Jennings probably wants, what, $20 million a year? We just got rid of a guy in Deebo Samuel that was going to make 23 this year. We just undid this deal. Basically to the best of their ability because you can't trade an injured Brandon Ayuk and you'd get a huge cap hit even if you did. They're saying, let's undo this deal. They did that with Deebo Samuel. Let's get the number in the room down a little bit. It's ridiculous the amount of money we're putting in the wide receiver room. We don't want to do that anymore. Or the 49ers, we don't do that. So all of a sudden they look and it's like another guy wants $20+ million. So you're telling me, I'm on the phone with the agent. You're telling me you think you can find a team out there that would give a satisfactory return, which I don't know, the Niners would probably start with like a second-round pick, probably get a third. Maybe they get a conditional 2. I don't know, but maybe Jauan Jennings is worth a third-round pick. And then so this team has to give up a third-round pick and like a 4-year, $80 million contract with a bunch of money up front and guarantees. Like, show me the team that's going to do that. A lot of teams' salary structure is already set for the season at this point. Their depth chart is set. Now, look, could he help a team? Of course he could. Are there teams who could use a wide receiver? Absolutely. But now I got to give up a third-round pick, 4-year, $80 million contract for Jauan Jennings. Show me that team. That's what I would tell the agent. Because what happens is then the agent comes back with his tail between his legs and goes, "See, there's not as big of a market as he thought." Because there's a thing called leverage, and that's what you have to have. He's playing the leverage game, which is I'm doing this last minute, and I know it at this certain position with Ayuk hurt, with Kershaw unproven, maybe Cowling, maybe Watkins, and you guys want to get back into this thing with this easy schedule. Hey, we're gonna stick it to you right now. That pisses off an organization. They love Jauan Jennings, but I can tell you they're pissed. People were hitting me up on social media going, "I find it hard to believe that they didn't know this was coming." No, they didn't. They didn't. And so all of a sudden he blindsides them right before camp. It doesn't make for a great situation when you just signed him a year ago. So that's the number one thing I would do is I would tell the agent, if you're not going to participate in camp, don't show up. And we are going to fine you as much as we can. And I think it's $50,000 a day. So you're under contract. We're going to nail you for $50,000 a day. Don't come in. And if you want to get traded, you go find the trade because we just negotiated a deal with you a year ago. So go for it. Go find the trade. Go find the team that's going to give us a third-round pick at least and give you a 4-year, $80 million contract. That team we don't think exists. And then when the agent comes back, he's all high and mighty when he's asking for these things. And when the agent comes back and goes, "Yeah, I couldn't find it." Oh, really? What a shocker. You mean this close to camp, a team wasn't going to give up a third and a 4-year, $80 million contract? What a friggin' shocker. Wow. So now your leverage is gone, and the 49ers say you can either play for the $7.5 million, and we'll talk after the season, or you can just sit out and not make any money. It's up to you. Let us know what you're going to do here. No more hold-ins. That's first on the list. No more hold-ins. You're holding out, and we're going to fine you. That's what's going to happen. So best of luck with that. You got to start playing hardball. I like Jauan Jennings, but man, if I was the organization, especially after what I went through last year, I am pissed. And I just showed you the list. He might be a number one receiver on the 49ers right now just due to circumstances. But in terms of what the league thinks, he ain't there. You know, he's not in the top 10, which he shouldn't be, nor should Brandon Ayuk because of the injuries. But he's not in the top 10. He shouldn't be in the top 10. He's not in honorable mention, and he shouldn't be. All those receivers are better than him. And he's not in also receiving votes. So there's like 25 receivers right there. And execs and everything. And I'm not saying they're right, they're wrong, whatever the case may be. Now, look, is he in this group at the bottom here? Chris Godwin, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton. Yeah, he's probably in that range. But still, we're looking at, 20 to 25 as far as receivers are concerned. And I say this all the time, and I said this on the radio, I said this on my YouTube show, on the podcast, blah, 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 blah. Was everybody drunk when they were giving these contracts out to receivers? They come in every single year. I mean, did you see what Neighbors and what Brian Thomas and what these guys, Ladd McConkey, did last year, these rookies? And the Niners have got to be thinking to themselves, Pearsall can do this. They got to cross their fingers that Ricky Pearsall can do this. It's not easy. I'm not saying it is. And look, they need Jauan Jennings. But not at the cost of, hey, you signed a contract last year. We're setting a bad precedence here that not only are our superstars holding us hostage and we got to pay, but now second and third wide receivers who are not even the top 25 at their position are holding us hostage. Nah. And like I said, if I'm Jed York, I get involved. Like, I let football people do football things, and I know what I don't know. But when it comes to this kind of a thing, it's like, look, it's my money. And I'm telling you right now, we are not giving him a new contract. We are not setting a precedence that you can go out, have a good year after you have already signed a contract last year. And then because you had that year and because of really injuries that led to him getting the 1,000 yards, that now he's like, well, I'm the number one receiver. Not when Brandon Ayuk's around, you're not. Not if Ricky Pearsall lives up to his first round billing, you're not. Like, they're in a tough spot. The wide receiver position is not in a great spot right now, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. But the reality of it is that if you give Juwan Jennings this deal and let him push you around, every player on your roster moving forward is going to go. They're watching this right now. Players who are not the superstars, they know they're getting paid on the Niners. But then that next level of player is going, I'm going to watch this. Colton McKivitz is watching, going, he's a free agent in the next offseason. Like, he's thinking to himself, they're not just paying superstars, they're paying guys like me. Hell yeah. This is great. That's how you become bad, by the way. And you know this. Like, I don't care what sport it is. When you start paying good players great money, that's when you have problems, because now, like, I don't have a problem paying the top players. I know how they're going to perform. But where you start getting yourself in trouble is when you pay good players great money and they eat up your space. You're like, why did you pay that guy? Why did you pay? Like, teams in free agency, this happens all the time. You pay these guys superstar money and they don't live up to that money. And then you're like, damn, and you're mediocre. That's the circle of bad teams. So you're a bad team. You don't draft well. You don't develop. You don't resign. So you have to go out in free agency. Free agency, a lot of times, as I tell you, overpaid players, hurt players, older players. You know, that's just a pool you have to choose from, right? You're in a certain bar that's it. That's all you have to choose from. Can't go outside of that. So these are the players, and they're flawed a lot of times in free agency. Then you overpay for flawed players. They take up your cap space, and you're like, why are we so bad? And then the circle just goes on and on and on, because you have bad front office people who draft poorly, and then you've got a bunch of money because you're not re-signing your own players who you drafted poorly. Then the only pool you have is free agents. They're flawed. You overpay for them. They don't live up to the money, and then the cycle continues on and on and on. That's a Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings is a nice player, but you're going to pay him top dollar money. That's how it deteriorates for a team. You pay good players great money. You got to stop. You can't do it. Oh, yeah, the J.J. Stokes. Oh, my God. Konnichiwa, Joji. So, again, I went on a bit of a rant there. I apologize, but, man, I like the guy. But come on, bro. Hi, Carlos. Good morning to you. EB is good here. Great point by you. Always have trouble in the red zone. Pay Jennings. Got to have him. Good point. They're going to be better in the red zone with McCaffrey, but he's not going to solve everything. But you're right. I mean, last year they were terrible in the red zone. And it's field goals versus touchdowns. One of the most under-discussed points in a game is how you doing in the red zone. Juan hasn't been a number one receiver for a full season. Exactly. Hi, Brock. Look, I don't want to sit here and rip on him because I like him. I like him as a player. I like him as a person. But again, think of it like an NBA team, right? A glue piece, a really nice role player. That's what he is. If he was an NBA player, he'd be a really nice role player. If he was a baseball player, same thing. He'd be an 18 to 20 home run guy. He'd knock in 80 runs. He'd play solid defense. He wouldn't be a superstar. Those kind of players are great, and you got to have them, but you can't pay them obscene amount of money. It's just that kills your salary structure, which then makes you a team that goes like this because you're paying good players great. It really hurts, and that's what we're talking about. But I get the point on the field, which is they were bad in the red zone. This guy makes great catches. If you go back to the Rams game, my God, he was a superstar. He's a nice player. And like I said, I'm biased. I bet on him to be the Super Bowl MVP against the Chiefs in Vegas. I told you this. I went there that morning, and I threw a bunch of different guys on as like MVPs, and I did a bunch of prop bets. And I think Jennings was like plus 2,800 or something. And about 3/4 of the way through that game, I'm like, this dude's going to win MVP and drinks on me. I didn't say that out loud, but I was there going, this is looking pretty good. Than that damn 15 dad bod. Pine says, the organization did know it was coming. It's new era of how business is done in the NFL. You can't get emotional. You just got to deal with it. From what I was told is this was about as, and I don't disagree with you. It's just, this is about as blindsided as you could be. Now, is anybody fully blindsided nowadays? No, but they didn't think this was coming. I can just tell you that. They didn't think this was coming. And they're not happy about it. And they love the player, but they are not happy about it. So we'll see. Let's see. What else do we got on Jennings? Anything else on Jennings? Yeah, I mean, they've tried so many times to get speed here. I mean, Danny Gray. They had another guy too. My God. I mean, they've tried. I don't know. Maybe they just can't find speed guys. That's certainly not Jennings, but he just does a different thing. Like I said, I'm not anti-Jennings. If I'm the organization, I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, you're at $7.5 million. I'm going to set a precedence here. Like, I could see the 49ers saying, okay, yeah, we get it. Just because of circumstances, you're underpaid. We'll bump you up to 10 or something like that. I mean, I could see a small bump, but I mean, like I said, if he's holding out for a massive new deal, nah. Like, we'll make good for this season. We'll get you up to like $10 million. That's the best we can do. We just gave you $2.5 million. That's a work of good faith. And then in next offseason, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But the other thing I'll tell you about this is you can rework wide receiver room so fast. I meant to look at the 2026 free agents, but you can work a wide receiver room and change it so fast. 2026 NFL free agents wide receiver. Between the draft, where you could get a couple of good ones if you wanted to focus on it. Free agency, like I said, is not the greatest thing. And you're going to have to overpay a bunch of these guys next year, which I don't love. Here, let me share the screen. Let me give you an example of this. Okay, Juwan Jennings. And there's a difference. Like, can you replace Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase? No, of course you can't. But I said this yesterday, like, Amari Cooper, I'm not saying he's Juwan Jennings and he's older and everything, but if you told me Juwan Jennings and Amari Cooper this year, who's going to have a better year? Maybe Amari Cooper. Like, it's not like Amari Cooper couldn't catch 75 balls this year. So next year, and look, the 49ers don't want to go down this road again. They're dealing with it. They dealt with it with Ayuk. But this is my point. All right, next year, free agents: Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Debo. No, Cortland Sutton. I'd pick up Cortland Sutton. Now it says right there his market value is $27 million. But Cortland Sutton's a nice player. And then it kind of ends. I'm not a Lazard guy. Myers just okay. Atwell, too small. Thielen, like I said, I'd call and get Thielen right now. They're saying that the market value for Juwan, is that right? Market value Juwan Jennings is $19 million. That's what I'm saying. I didn't even look at that. I told you $20 million. He wants like $480. I told you that without even looking at that. So he wants $19 million a year. Not happening. DeAndre Hopkins is older. Lockett is older. Treylon Burks is a first-round bust, but I mean, why not? Mike Williams is always hurt. Don't want anything to do with him. Blah, 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 blah. There's nobody down here that's any good. So, look, if you want to delve deep into it, like Terry McLaurin's holding out right now. I don't know that he's going to come back to Washington without a new deal. Mike Evans is 33, so he'll be he'll be 34, but he's a similar type of receiver as he's gotten older. He's not as fast, but he's huge, and he'll come up over you. You're not going to sign Debo. I mean, like, I'd look at Cortland Sutton next offseason. Like, right now, would you rather have Cortland Sutton or Juwan Jennings? I'd rather have Cortland Sutton. So, plus there's a million that are going to come out in the draft. I mean, there'll be 10 wide receivers next year in the draft that are going to be effective wide receivers in the NFL, maybe more. So it's not like a wide receiver has the leverage of, like I said, if I was doing a pecking order of leverage per position, quarterback is number one. And then depending on the type of system that a team runs, left tackle, corner, edge, D tackle, like it's wide receiver, it's 10th on the list. That's the other thing. Like, yeah, Nick Bosa has leverage. Corners have leverage. Quarterbacks, left tackles, those guys all have leverage. And it's not that a wide receiver doesn't. It's just, like I said, last year when everybody got drunk and paid wide receivers, I was like, you can find these. You know that, right? So anyway, all right, I'm done with that. I'm done with Juwan Jennings. I did best wide receivers. Look, if you want to do a player for player, I would love that. Find me a corner. I'd love another corner or a safety. Like, okay, Juwan, we're going to try to trade you. And, picks may not work, but if somebody's got, I'd have to look. That's a good point. I'd have to look at somebody who, might be coming up as a free agent in a position of need. Defensive tackle. I don't know that if you know this is going on, but Collins, their second-round pick, hasn't signed. And only like 2 or 3 second-round picks have. And the reason why was it the Jets that gave a fully guaranteed? It was to Higgins, the wide receiver out of Iowa State, who's a really nice player. But they set this precedence of a completely guaranteed contract. 100% guaranteed. And now all the second rounders are going, well, I want my contract 100% guaranteed. And NFL teams are going, no, that's not how it works. And agents are sitting going, well, I think it's Jaden Higgins, right? Wide receiver out of Iowa State by the Jets. And they're like, well, they already set the precedence. We all want guaranteed second round contracts. We want them fully guaranteed. And the NFL is going, thanks, Jets. So there's only a few second round picks that have been signed. The Niners second round pick hasn't been signed. And then the craziest story right now is Shamar Stewart of the Bengals, or maybe soon to be ex-Bengals. First round pick, Texas A&M. There was controversy around him anyway because he was like Superman type of ability, but then kind of doesn't play all that well. Hasn't gotten the numbers to match what his talent suggests. And there's some verbiage in, and this is just typical Bengals, there's some verbiage in the contract him and his agent don't like. So he was coming to camp, but he wasn't working out. And now it's getting to the point where he may petition the NCAA to go back. He's working out with Texas A&M. He's working out with the football team, and he may go back in 2026. Now, I would imagine the Bengals at the last second finally go, fine, whatever, because then you lose a first-round pick. But they're both got their feet in cement right now, and it's like, I'm not moving. So Stewart is back at Texas A&M working out. They may lose their first-round pick. I think it was 17th overall. It's crazy, man. Just crazy. Anyway. Yeah, Cooper's still out there. That's what I'm saying is like, look, it's leverage either way. Who has the most leverage? I think it's the 49ers. You're under contract for $7.5 million. Sorry. And if you're not going to play ball with us, and I don't know why a guy like Amari Cooper is not signed. He might be asking for too much money, but I mean, I just say, okay, let's bring in Amari Cooper. 1-year deal. Here you go. And if I'm Amari Cooper, it's like, yeah, I'll go to the 49ers. Ayuka's out. Jennings is holding out or holding in or whatever the hell he's doing, and Ricky Pearsall's not proven. And Cowing isn't. I don't know what Cowing is. I don't know what Jordan Watkins is. Like, and you're in Kyle Shanahan's offense. You want to reestablish your value. If I'm Amari Cooper, I can't wait to get to San Francisco. I can't wait to get to the 49ers. He'll catch 75 balls in this offense. There's no doubt. Anyway, there you go. Random things throughout the show. Yeah, we'll do some. We're going to combine the Caboose pistol with some random things. So should we do some sweet, clean, family friendly Caboose pistol? By the way, wanted to let you know that I am on with. So I got to get out of here in about 5 minutes because I need a quick break. I'm on with Damon Bruce and the Damon Bruce Show at 11 o'clock. So let's do that at 11 o'clock. All right. So make sure you move over to Damon Bruce's channel on YouTube at 11 o'clock. All right, let's do this. Sweet, clean, family-friendly Caboose time. Got a couple of things for you on the Caboose pistol. And remember, you can always hit me up still with questions, comments, and thoughts. We got supers available. If you're watching the show later, right underneath here, hit your comments. I am always on X quite a bit, and we are broadcasting on X. So hello, and please come over to the YouTube channel, John Lund Unleashed, and make sure you subscribe. But if you don't, fine. You can watch on X at John Lund Radio. And if you have questions, comments, thoughts, that is a good place to hit me up. All right, Caboose time.
John Lund Unleashed presents the Caboose pistol.
Wedged in the crack of her buttocks.
Somehow, someway, Lundo thinks this is the best way to leave a final impression on you for the day.
The old Caboose pistol, everybody has one.
Did you say caboose?
I know some woman who could hide a machine gun in there.
Yeah.
Leave me out of this, you weirdo. Here's John.
I'm not a weirdo. I just report news. Caboose us! Caboose is a little different today. Two things. I've never been a huge Star Wars guy. I mean, I watched the movies. I never got, weird on it. I did have friends who would show up as, like, Darth Vader. Like, I remember one time we were going to I don't even remember which one it was. Might have been, like, early 20s. And so I'm meeting friends at the movie theater, and my buddy shows up full Darth Vader gear. I'm like, bro. Like, I didn't know who it was. And he's like, hey, Lund, what's going on? I'm like, dude, I'm not hanging out with you. I'm like 22 years old, 23 years old. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, no, we are not hanging out. And we didn't. I was like, no, but I get it. So I thought, memorabilia is a weird thing. I have stuff, but the reason I have memorabilia by its very definition of the name, memorabilia. I want to remember that, where I got that baseball, where I did this, I'll buy this, a concert tee, whatever the case may be, whatever the product is. It doesn't have to be sports. Like, memorabilia is just that. So I've never really understood, like, well, I wasn't there, but I'm going to buy this. And then you have this big room because you're super rich and you have a party and you're like, look at this baseball and look at this movie poster and look at it. And, great, cool. So anyway, but for once, like, I'm always looking at $1 million for that, $2 million for that baseball card, or wow, what do you do? Like, you just display it and go, look at me. But this thing, I think, is actually underpriced. It says Darth Vader's lightsaber from the original Star Wars trilogy to be auctioned off, expected to rake in up to $3 million. As big as Star Wars is, you're telling me that's the original lightsaber? The original. From James Earl Jones. Like, that's the original? Luke, I am your father. Like, that's the original? $3 million? I was going to think like $30 million. For all the Star Wars, and I'm not going to call them dorks. Hey, man, you're into what you're into. Like, when people would say that, like, fantasy people are dorks, it's like, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. They're not really dorks. I have one fantasy league that I'm in every single year. We put in quite a bit of money, and at the end of the year, you can make a chunk. So, look, I don't think it's dorks. I mean, it's cool. That's what you're into, man. You do you. That's a big philosophy of the show. You do you. You like Darth Vader? You like Star Wars? You want to show up to, Star Wars in Darth Vader gear? Cool. I got a friend that showed up to a Batman premiere, rented a Batmobile. And same thing. I was waiting for him. I'm like, what the hell, bro? Dude shows up, different guy, Batmobile. I got weird friends. So he shows up in a Batmobile, full Batman gear. I'm like, no, man, we're not hanging out. We are not hanging out. So, people are into what they're into. You do you. But I'm just, as far as memorabilia is concerned, like, let's say you have a big party or rich guy person, whatever, and you have that in some sort of a room. I don't know. And and you got it going and everything. And it was like, whoa, what's that? It's the original lightsaber. What? Darth Vader's original lightsaber. I think it's going to go for more than 3. We'll watch that. But my God, that's got to be something. I mean, if you're into, like I said, if you're into Star Wars, it's not my bag, but I get it. I think it'd go for more than that. All right. Then the second one. Oh, I have this on now. I got to share my screen with you on the second one. This is going to be a massive debate. So this is today. National Hot Dog Day is today. So a couple of different things. There's a place by my house in San Ramon called Devil Dogs. They're not paying me or anything like that. They're friends of mine who own a number of restaurants, and they call it Devil Dogs. And it's the only hot dog place I can think of near me. Like I told you, my first job when I was 15 years old, and I didn't realize there was taxes. I told you this. And I worked all week long and, embarrassed, and people come in there, and when the fry cook, it was at Wiener Schnitzel. And I got it like a $32 check, and I cried. My dad's laughing. Yeah, I've told you that story before. But you can think to yourself, Nathan's Hot Dogs is a place. I think there's a place called Casper's. It's got hot dogs. Like, there's not a lot of hot dog places is my point. There's tons of burger places, not tons of hot dog places. Yet when you go to a ball game, it's not really burgers, right? Take me out to the ball game. Da, 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 da. There's not, like, hamburgers aren't in the song. It's hot dogs, right? So I don't know why hot dogs became the official thing of baseball. I don't know why there are not more hot dog places versus hamburger places. Like I said, this place, Devil Dogs, makes great ones. When I go to Chicago, I tell you this, when I go to Chicago, we got to get, my parents are from Chicago, and my dad's like, okay, deep dish pizza. And then the other thing we have to 100% get is a Vienna beef. So you get a beef hot dog. They take the homemade fries. They put the fries in the wax paper. They wrap it up and you eat the dog with the fries. It's a huge thing in Chicago. Huge, huge, huge. Vienna beef. They're awesome. And, and you put the sport peppers on there and the relish and the mustard and all that kind of stuff. Amazing dogs. I like chili cheese, no onions, but chili cheese dogs are good. I'd order that. I don't know why hot dogs haven't become what hamburgers are or even close. But like hamburgers, for every hot dog that is sold, like 30 hamburgers, 50 hamburgers are sold. Anyway, if you are a hot dog person, today is National Hot Dog Day. And the reason I put that up on the screen there, here are some deals. 7-Eleven, Big Bite hot dogs for $2. No, thanks. Beef O'Brady's, Carnegie Deli. I thought Carnegie Deli was gone. Don't know if there's Circle K in California. Dog House. Have not gone to a Dog House before. Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers. I know of those. I've been to one in Vegas. 200 bonus points. Love's Travel Stops. Aren't those on the jersey for Oklahoma City? Nathan's today, and I saw that Joey Chestnut sent this one out. Nathan's Famous is taking hot dog prices back to 1916 on July 16th. So that's today. Participating locations will sell hot dogs for just 5 cents. 2 per customer. Well, what kind of shit is that? Sorry, man. 2 per customer. So you can get 2 dogs for 10 cents. Omaha Steaks. You can go out and buy a bunch of them. Philly Pretzel Factory. Pop's Beef. Portillo's. They don't have Portillo's here. They have well, I mean, that's a Chicago thing, but they also have them in Arizona. So you can order a $1 hot dog or get out of here with a vegetarian hot dog. That's pretty much the only thing I'd say. You want to do ketchup, fine. You know, I wouldn't do ketchup on my dog, but I don't care. You do you, but come on, man. Vegetarian dog, get out of town. No. Shake Shack. I didn't know they even had dogs there. Oh my God, corn dog. How good is a corn dog, man? Corn dog with a bunch of mustard, I don't care what kind of mustard. There you go at the bottom. Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel customers can get 4 chili dogs for $4. Oh, go do that. I don't know where there's a Wiener Schnitzel. I know they have them in Southern California. They have them here. Have any Wiener Schnitzels left? 4 chili dogs for $4. I mean, it's like going to Taco Bell. You're going to feel like garbage afterwards, but man, they'll be good going down. So there you go. National Hot Dog Day. Have at it. Hot dogs, why aren't they as big of a deal? You know, whatever it is you want to talk about. Ketchup on a hot dog, all those different kind of things. Just let me know. Give me your thoughts on that. I love hot dogs. And like I said, the one thing that is confusing about hot dogs is you could eat a burger at a game. Don't get me wrong, they have them. But like most places that you go to a baseball game, it's like not only can you get a dog, you can get a brat, you can get a hot link, you can get an Italian, you can get a cheese dog, they have every kind of dog. But then it's like, but you leave a ballpark and it's like hot dogs don't even exist. Like I said, there's one place by me, Devil Dogs. That's it. And there's a million. I mean, seriously, you can't throw a rock and not hit a hamburger joint. But there's one hot dog place that is near me, one. And they're good. The other thing too is when you get one and like a really good one. I'm not talking about like an Oscar Mayer one that you throw in the microwave for your kid or a ballpark one or whatever. I'm talking about like a really good one, and man, you're like, I need to do this more often. And by the way, I don't care what's in them. I don't. I haven't even looked at the chat room. I don't care what's in them. They're good. I'm not going to eat them every day, every meal, but they're good. And when you have them in a ball, why is it that a dog, any kind, and a beer is so much better at a game? I have no idea. No idea. So anyway, mysteries of life. Today is National Hot Dog Day. Yeah, I got 10 minutes until I got to get on with Damon. All right, that's going to be it. I'm going to try to quickly get out to some chat room thoughts on dogs. Jimbo's in Marin. Yeah, I don't know of Jimbo's, but go have a dog today. Today is the day. Sausages. Oh my God. Like that's what I mean. So I have family, real quick. I have family in Wisconsin. A lot of my family's from Chicago, but I have family in Wisconsin. They're dairy farmers. And we would go there in the summer and we would fly into Chicago, meet our grandparents, and then we'd go over and see our dairy farmers in Wisconsin, and they partied. And they did the legit beer brats. And so, they'd soak them in onions and beer, and then they'd grill them, and then you'd eat them. Oh my God. Like there's nothing better. There's nothing better than that. So I don't know why that didn't catch on. Kyle says, call me anti-American. I hate hot dogs. I puked so badly from them when I was 5. 20 years later, I tried one and had a bite and gagged. Wow. You've had a hot dog once? Wow. God, they're so good. They're like really good ones. Yeah, corn dogs. My God. First time I had a corn dog, I can still remember it, Nutter. I was at Disneyland of all places, and my parents are like, what do you want? What do you want? And I was like, I'll have a corn dog. And they looked at me like, you've never had a corn dog in your life. What are you talking about? And like, looks good. Like, because you see all those people and they got the giant ones. I was like, I'll try that. And I put a little bit of yellow mustard on it. And I can still remember taking a bite. And I think I'm like, now you're not going to have orgasm at 5 years old. I understand that. But whatever I could have when I was 5 years old, when I took a bite of that corn dog, whatever kind of emotion I could elicit at that point, I did. And I got to keep corn dogs away from my house. Like, you can't. They're not good for you at all. So, like, I'd never buy them. I can't remember the last time I had a corn dog. Might have been like 1983, but my God, they're good. What else do we have? Is that it? I have not seen Quarterback yet. I am going to see it, but I have not seen it yet. What's up, dog? Let's see. Shout out Ben Franks in Redwood City, still holding it down. Yeah, dogs are good, man. Dogs are good. All sorts of different ways you can have them. My God. All right, I gotta go. I gotta be on in Damon's show in like 10 minutes, and I gotta get a drink and all those kind of things. Not a cocktail. I'm not drinking, just some water or something. All right, bagel dogs. Oh, what a great call that is. Bagel dogs. You ever go to what's the pretzel joints? Like the pretzel joints, and they do it, but they do it in the pretzel, and they'll have like pepperonis on it, or sometimes they'll have jalapenos on it. Those are so good. Oh, my God. Bagel dogs. That's a good call. Or you could do the real easy ones when kids are little and you take the croissant from like Pillsbury and you roll those around there and then it's a croissant with a dog in the middle of it. Get out of here. Those are so good. All right. That'll do it for me today. I can't chug. I've got another show to do right here and then I have a life. But believe me, we'll do it. What are we, Wednesday today? All right. That'll do it for today. I got to rock. Come on over to Damon's channel and we will hang out. Damon Bruce, and I'll be on with Damon at 11 o'clock in about 10 minutes. Thanks to Supers today from Tommy and Rock. Really appreciate those guys participating and supporting the show. Very much appreciated. Very good pigs in a blanket, my God. Very cool for everybody. Happy National Hot Dog Day. Go have yourself a dog today. Great all-star game. If you missed anything today, I will have the podcast up, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Please make sure that you subscribe on John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. Please hit that like button as well so that the algorithm will say the show's not half bad. Plus, make sure you have those alerts on. Again, Apple, Spotify for your favorite podcast. And anything else today? I think that is it. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Happy National Hot Dog Day to everybody. And we will talk tomorrow. Or you just jump over to Damon's show right now in about 7 minutes, and I'll be on with Damon. Have a great Wednesday.
Thanks for hanging out with John Lund Unleashed. We'll try to be better next time, though I wouldn't hold my breath. Please like and subscribe on the John Lund Unleashed Pod YouTube channel. Watch live shows weekdays at 8 a.m. on YouTube, Instagram, and X. And make sure to have your alerts on for shows throughout the day or night. All things Lund can be found at johnlundunleashed.com. johnlundunleashed.com.
Goodbye!